Alright guys, hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing the Lies of P achievement guide and roadmap. I've not actually made any videos on Lies of P yet. I recently have just finished the game though, so I figured now's probably a good time to do a sort of roadmap for it. Because I've not made any videos, the collectibles that are required, obviously I haven't got any videos on them, but what I will do is I will link some solutions in the description, so keep an eye out on those. And on that sort of note as well, if you do want me to make any sort of like videos on the game, I'm more than happy to do that, whether that's like collectible guides or just like a full achievement playthrough, as I've done with like Warlong and all that kind of stuff. I'm completely happy to do that, but let me know. But anyway, so my sort of like estimated difficulty for the game is probably about a 7 out of 10. Obviously that is completely skill dependent. It could be, you know, a 4 or 5 for some people, or like a 9 or a 10. It just depends how good you are at sort of like these type of games. The estimated time for the 1000G is about 60 to 80 hours. It depends, you know, again, how good you are at the game. And also, you know, how slow you are taking it with exploration and all that kind of stuff. So the game is just purely single player. There is no online to it, so all the achievements are offline. And obviously there are no online achievements. There are about 15 missables throughout the game, but you can get these in New Game Plus, so it doesn't really matter all that much. As far as I'm aware, there's no glitched achievements. I got them all with no issues, so yeah, you should be fine on that front. The minimum number of playthroughs is 3. There's 3 different endings. You need to get all 3 endings, so 3 playthroughs. There is like a cloud save manipulation you could do to get 2 endings in one playthrough. I've personally never done that, and I don't know how to do that. So I can't really comment on how good or how useful that is, because I've never done it. But it is an option. I know it is possible. But yeah, so there is that. And there's also no sort of like difficulty selection either, so you can't sort of like pick the difficulty you want either. So just like a general overview of the game, you know, it's an action role-playing video game. At the beginning of the game, you can choose from sort of like one of 3 different classes. One's balanced, one's dexterity, and one's strength. And that sort of like affects your initial stats at the start of the game. It is a Souls-like game, developed by NeoWiz and Round 8 Studio, and it also focuses quite heavily on like a deflect/parry mechanic, like Sekiro did, but sort of like all the other gameplay outside of the combat is very Bloodborne-esque. The game's quite linear. You know, you move just from like general like Stargazer to Stargazer, like in any Souls-like. But there is quite a few sort of like optional areas throughout the game and side quests you can do, and also quite a bit of like backtracking as well. So you know, it's not all linear, but there are quite a lot of like linear aspects sort of like going through the story. There's also a central hub, which is the hotel, which, you know, you can sort of go to and upgrade and level up and all that kind of stuff. The bosses in the game can be quite challenging, especially if you aren't very good at timing parries, like me, to be honest with you. But most attacks can be learned quite quickly, in my opinion. And they're also... the game is also only single player, as I mentioned. So the only sort of like summonable people are NPCs, which honestly are pretty terrible. They're only really there to sort of get aggro. They don't do a lot of damage, so that can add a little bit to sort of like the difficulty of the game if you do like to summon people in when you play these type of games. So the first step, what I did anyway, is sort of pick your ending. Decide from the get-go which ending you want, because that'll affect sort of like how you play the game in regards to choices and stuff. So one of the endings requires you to lie throughout the entire playthrough, and one of them requires you to be sort of like be more honest and keep yourself as like a puppet rather than a human. And then the final ending as well, the choices don't matter until the very end choice in the game. So as I say, just pick whichever one you want to go for and just sort of like head towards that. Once you've done that, pick your playstyle, and then just sort of like work through the game as you normally would. getting as many gestures, weapons, records, all that kind of stuff as you can. Any you miss, you can get in New Game Plus, so that's not really an issue. So the second one, again, is pick the second ending that you want, if I can talk. And then, again, just try and grab as many more collectibles as you can throughout the game. And with it being New Game Plus, just the first New Game Plus, it'll probably be your fastest playthrough. You know, you keep all your weapons, all your stats. The bosses don't really get that much harder, in my opinion. So it'll probably be your fastest playthrough. And then the last one is where you would be, you know, getting your final ending and also looking up any sort of like locations for collectibles and all that kind of stuff that you don't have yet. And then, you know, you can sort of like mop them up, and then that should more or less cover the entirety of the achievements, to be honest with you. So I'll go through sort of like the achievements now individually, just so you know there is like an actual guide for them. So this one, find out about the last story of Sophia. You achieve this by getting the Rise of P ending, and then once you finish the game, it'll say, do you want to start a New Game Plus? You can press B to go back into sort of like the normal game. Press B, go back into the hotel. If you go to Geppetto's desk, there'll be an item on the desk, and there'll be a note from Sophia. You basically just pick that up, read the note, and then the achievement will unlock. Second one is the Rise of P. So to get this ending, you basically have to lie and listen to as many records as you can to gain as much humanity as possible throughout the game. So the cut-off point for this is after you kill Lexasia, I think her name is, the boss on the Ascension Bridge. Once you kill her, there'll be a door at the end of the bridge. Once you open that door, you'll trigger a cutscene with Sophia, where you can either keep her alive or give her peace. You need to have all the humanity needed by that point. If you trigger that cutscene without the humanity, it'll lock out that playthrough. I had to do 4 playthroughs of the game because the third time I messed up the humanity part and had to do another playthrough because it didn't give me the ending. So be careful of that. And then also you have to give peace to Sophia once you do get that option, and then also refuse to give your heart to Geppetto at the end of the game, and then it'll trigger a boss fight, and then once you kill that boss, the achievement will unlock. The next one is for collecting all these special weapons. There are 11 to collect. You'll meet an NPC called Alidoro, who trades you weapons for like boss ergo or boss souls. He has a total of 10 weapons, and the last weapon is collected at the end of your Rise of P ending. When you have told enough lies, you'll need to press B instead of going to New Game Plus. Go into Geppetto's room, and there'll be a painting in the room that like the nose gets longer every time you lie. Interact with that painting, and then you will get the I think it's called the Golden Lie, I think the weapon's called, and that'll be the 11th weapon that you can get. The next one is for collecting and playing all the records. There's 16 records in total, given through various different rewards from NPCs and side quests. Some of them are only available in New Game Plus, so you'll need a minimum of 2 playthroughs for that achievement. So keep that in mind, you won't be able to get them all in one playthrough. Next one is learning all the gestures. There's 17 gestures obtained throughout the game, again from various different NPCs. That's meant to be an MP, that's meant to be P. Let me just alter that because it's wrong. That's meant to be NPCs. 5 of them are only missable. Only 5 of them are missable. So the rest can be obtained at any point throughout the game, and any that you do miss, you can get in the New Game Plus. That won't be too much of an issue for you. The next one is for collecting all the normal weapons. There are 27 weapons, mainly found in like chests and sort of merchants around the world as you sort of like progress. As far as I'm aware, there are no missables, and they can be obtained at any point. But some are quite well hidden. And again, any you do miss, you can get a New Game Plus, so don't worry too much about it, as you will need probably 2 or 3 playthroughs to get them all anyway. So the next one is the Free from the Puppet String ending, which the only 2 requirements for this one are to let Sophia live during your choice with her, and then also refuse to give your heart to Geppetto. Do those 2, and every other choice doesn't matter. They're the only 2 things that do matter to get that ending. The next one is killing the nameless puppet. So this is the only optional boss in the game. And to be able to fight the boss, you have to choose to refuse to give your heart to Geppetto at the end of the game, and then this fight will trigger. If you choose to give him your heart, then the game will just end, and you won't get this boss. So it's up to you when you want to do that ending. Obviously, you know, New Game Plus is probably the best time to do the one where you give him your heart, because it will save your boss fight on a harder difficulty, I guess. But yeah, so the boss fight is quite hard, to be fair. Probably one of the harder bosses. There's no summon as well, which adds to sort of like the difficulty there. So the next one is find out about the last story of Venigni. So to get this achievement, you must successfully complete all of Arlecchino's riddles. You'll hear sort of like the phone ringing throughout the game. You need to do those riddles, get them all right. And then you need to also exhaust all of Venigni's dialogue throughout the game. As that sort of like advances his story as well. And then when you get into the Lorenzini Arcade, I think it's called, you'll pass some bathrooms near a merchant, and then you need to pick up the item Scandal Vive, The Tragedy Behind the Flamboyance book. Read that book, and then progress towards the end of the game, and you'll eventually meet Arlecchino in one of his little Trinity rooms. Exhaust both of his dialogue options, read the book again, I did anyway, and then you should get a new dialogue option. He'll give you an item, you need to take that to Venigni, and then the achievement should unlock at that point. So I've seen people saying that this dialogue option only appears before you've killed Simon, who was like the final boss, really. But for me, it only appeared after I killed him, but I was in New Game Plus, so I don't really know if that matters, but I try it before and after, just to be sort of like on the safe side of things. So the next one is discover all Trinity Sanctums. There are 5 to open throughout the game, and you'll need to complete all riddles to obtain the keys to open them. The locations for them are near Venigni's work control room Stargazer, in the St. Frangelico Cathedral, the Estella Opera House, the Krat Central Station, and then the Arch Abbey Outer Hall. Those are all, obviously, they're quite easy to find. If you are exploring, they're quite hard to miss, so you shouldn't have too many troubles finding them. The next one is find out about the last story of Geppetto. So this is basically, you need to give Geppetto your heart at the end of the game. Press B to avoid going straight into New Game Plus, and you go back to the hotel. Go into his room, pick up the note, read the note left on his desk, and then that achievement will pop. Again, that obviously comes hand in hand with the Real Boy ending, which we're about to get into now. So this is the third ending, and the only requirement for this is to give Geppetto your heart at the end of the game. All other choices don't matter, as far as I'm aware. So you should be fine on that front. So the next one is find out about the last story of Antonio. To get this achievement, you need to speak to Polendina, who's like the butler in the hotel. After unlocking the golden coin tree, he'll mention about a cure for Antonio's condition. Then you can go and kill Champion Victor. Go back to the hotel and speak to Giangio, who is near the golden coin tree. He'll ask for a golden coin for the cure. Give the cure to Polendina, and then tell him to give it to Antonia, and then go talk to her. And then after defeating the boss on Ascension Bridge, and I think before the Sophia interaction, you can go up to the hotel, go up to where Geppetto's room is, and you can pick up the items from sort of like her wheelchair, and then read the note that she left, and that should unlock the achievement. The next one is to decipher all of the cryptic vessels and claim the rewards. So there's 6 vessels in total. but only 5 count for the achievement. Once you find any of them, take him to Venigni, have him decrypt it. It'll give you a like a clue to use, and with that clue, you can go to where it wants you to go with a clue, and then once you do that, you'll get your reward from the the locker. It's usually like a little safe, and then you get the reward, and then you do that 5 times, and then the achievement will unlock. Next one is to find out about the last story of Eugenie. So to get this achievement, you need to kill Alidoro at the end of the game. When you meet him after defeating the Rabbit Brotherhood for the second time, once you do this, you'll get his cryptic vessel. Take this to Venigni. Once it's been decrypted, go speak to Eugenie and tell her that Alidoro was her older brother. Once you tell her that, then you need to sort of like leave the hotel, go back into it, speak to her again, and then that should unlock the achievement for you there. So the next one is pretty simple, really. Try to assemble a weapon. All you need to do for this one is you need to progress the game up until you kill like the stalker with the donkey mask, and get Geppetto out of his like little wagon thing that he's trapped in. He then gives you the ability to sort of dismantle and reassemble weapons. Once you do that, dismantle 2 weapons, reassemble them with sort of like the opposite blades and handles. Once you've done that, the achievement will unlock. It's quite a good feature in the game, to be honest with you. It's quite niche, and quite good sort of like gameplay wise, but yeah, so pretty easy to get, to be honest. Next one is to strengthen a normal weapon to its max level. Basically, get a normal weapon, take it to +10, and then the achievement will unlock. As pretty standard in a game, obviously it'd be like an end game achievement. You don't get the better upgrade materials until the end game, as usual. So the next one is to play a perfect tune on the piano. So basically, you need to get the real boy ending by giving Geppetto your heart. Once you do that, instead of going into New Game Plus, press B to go back to the hotel, go to the piano, play the piano again, and you'll finally now be able to play a perfect tune, and that will give you the achievement for that as well. Next one is find out about the last story of Simon Manus, and this one should unlock after you kill Simon, and then when he stops talking, basically, then the game... Alright, sorry, I was reading what I wrote and it didn't make sense, but yeah, so, no, kill Simon, once he stops talking, the achievement should unlock, quite simple, really, and the next one is the exact same, kill Simon, and the achievement should unlock sort of like immediately after killing him. Another one that's a boss related, kill Lexasia the Complete, kill her, and then again the achievement should unlock, story related, can't really miss it. The next one is to modify a Legion arm to its max level. So basically, you'll get different Legion arms. You start with one which changes almost immediately when you get to the hotel. But as you progress through the game, you'll find some Legion caliber items. You need 6 in total to take an arm to the max level. So if you do that, end up with sort of like the 3 different perk levels for the arm that you want to use, then that achievement can be obtained that way. And this can also be done near Venigni as well, if you are sort of like struggling where to find to do that. Next one is to strengthen a special weapon to its max level. So again, same as the other one, this time you need to be a special weapon, which is the weapons from Alidoro. Take one to +5, and then the achievement will unlock. The next one is again to kill a boss, kill the Black Rabbit Brotherhood. This is the second time you face them, not the first one. So you do face them again later on in the game. Second time, you will get the Revenge of the Black achievement, not the first time. The next one is to activate the P organ to phase 5. So basically, the P organ unlocks after you get Geppetto back into his room. He tells you about it, and it's basically like a separate upgrading tree. You'll find quartzes as you sort of progress the game through like mini bosses and chests. Collect 10 of those and progress the P organ to phase 5 and the achievement will unlock. The way the P organ works is every 2 upgrades that you do get, you will unlock the next phase, but you don't need to. It doesn't need to be in order, if that makes sense. So, for example, you can progress phase 1 and 2 to unlock phase 3, but then you could get an extra one in phase 1 and phase 2, and that'll unlock phase 4 without even touching phase 3. So you don't need to sort of like go in order and invest into every single phase straight away. You will unlock the extra phases by just doing the old phases as well. Next one is to collect all Legion arms. Throughout the game, you'll find items called Legion plugs, which are used to unlock new Legion arms. And basically, the same way as you're upgrading it, it'll just say craft Legion arm. You craft that. I think there's 6 in the game you need to craft. But you'll probably get this by the end of the game. It shouldn't really be too much an issue. But again, same place. You go near Venini in the hotel, and his little workbench things there that you can use to sort of craft them and upgrade them. The next one is to kill the corrupted Parade Master, which again is sort of like a late game boss. Story related, can't really miss it. And the next one is also killing another boss, which again, story related, can't really miss it. And the one after that is also killing another boss, which again is story related and you can't really miss it. The next one is for killing all types of dimensional butterflies. There are 3 different types of dimensional butterflies. One's red, one's like a purpley pinky colour, and the last one is yellow. They drop items when you kill them, usually upgrade materials, and they're generally pretty easy to find. Your little lamp with Jiminy in it will sort of go red when there's one nearby. So that's like a general thing of how you know when they're nearby. I got this achievement around Lorenzini Arcade, so that's probably the earliest point you can get it. So if you don't have it by then, you've probably missed one. Next one is to kill Romeo, the King of Puppets, which, again, story-related, can't really miss it, although he is quite an annoying boss. The next one is for harvesting a gold coin fruit, which becomes available after you kill the Black Rabbit Brotherhood for the first time. You'll take an elevator, and it'll open like a shortcut between the gold coin tree and the hotel. Basically, it's like a timed thing. So every 10 minutes, 1 gold coin refreshes on the tree. So wait 10 minutes, walk over, press A, and the achievement should unlock. Next one is to kill the eldest of the Black Rabbit Brotherhood, which is the first time you see them. First time you kill them, this achievement will unlock. Next one is again for killing a boss. Kill the fallen Archbishop Andreas, which again, just boss, story related, can't really miss it. Next one is kill the King's Flame Fuoco, which again, story related, can't really miss it. Next one is to kill the Scrapped Watchman, again, story related, can't really miss it. And the next one is to kill a Stalker, which I think unlocks after you kill a Donkey Stalker, which is why I've put story related, because he's like a mandatory fight to like free Geppetto. So again, you should get this one by just pure story, so it shouldn't really matter too much. Next one is to say you are a human to gain entrance to the hotel when you first get there. Story related, I think you have to say you're a human. If you say you're a puppet, it doesn't let you win, and you get the choice again, I believe. Next one is to kill the Parade Master, which is the tutorial boss. Story related, you can't miss it. The one after that one is to repair a Stargazer. Again, in the tutorial, if I can talk, that didn't go well. In the tutorial, you will get the achievement. I'm pretty sure they make you repair one, to be quite honest, straight away. So yeah, that is that. And then the next one is to do a Fatal Blow, which you can do by backstabbing an enemy, or by staggering an enemy by parrying, and then doing a critical strike on them, and then that achievement will unlock. Next one is to destroy an enemy's weapon with a perfect guard. This is obtained by parrying an enemy enough times for their weapon to break. Likely it'll come through natural progression. I think I got this like before I even killed the like very first boss. If not, if you don't get this by some weird reason, when you get towards the end of the game, there is a special grindstone which makes it so when you guard, every guard that you do is a perfect parry, and this just like destroys enemy's weapons because they just attack you, and every attack is a perfect parry. So, just like a really cheesy way of getting the achievement if you don't have it, but again, it'll very, very likely come through natural progression. And once you've done all them, that'll be the 1000G, and all the achievements have been unlocked. I hope this helps. And as I say, if you want any sort of like videos on the game, I'll happily do some. I've really enjoyed the game, so you know, looking for a reason to play it again. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.